There's a surprising truth most people don't know about protein. It's not just about how much you eat, it's about how well your body uses it. And here's something even more surprising. There's a single food that provides more usable protein than eggs, the gold standard of bioavailable protein. It's not meat, it's not a supplement, it's something most people overlook entirely. Yet study after study shows it can dramatically improve muscle retention even in people over 60. And in a world where sarcopenia, age, muscle loss, is accelerating faster than ever before, knowing what to eat before your muscles disappear is not optional, it's essential. Here's why. Muscle is not just about strength or looks. It's your metabolic engine, your hormonal reservoir, and your protective armor against aging. When you lose muscle, everything declines. Energy, balance, insulin sensitivity, even cognitive performance. The brain and body are linked by more than nerves. They're connected through movement, metabolism, and muscle mass. And the research is clear. You can slow, even reverse sarcopenia, but you need the right input. That means choosing foods with a high leucine threshold, strong digestibility scores, and the ability to spike muscle protein synthesis. One food in particular does this exceptionally well, even better than eggs. In this episode, we'll explore the surprising food with more bioavailable protein than eggs, why this matters especially after age 40, what's happening in your muscles and brain when you eat high-quality protein, and science-backed ways to time, pair, and use this food to fight muscle loss. Fast. This isn't about bodybuilding, it's about protecting your brain and body as you age with grounded science, not hype. By the end, you'll walk away with a simple, powerful protocol to support muscle, mobility, and healthy aging without needing to overhaul your entire diet. Let's dive into what the science actually says and what it means for your strength, your energy, and your future. If I asked you what's the highest quality protein you can eat, most people would say eggs. And that makes sense. Eggs score a perfect 1 on the protein digestibility corrected amino acid score, PDCAAs, the gold standard for protein quality. They're rich in essential amino acids, especially leucine, and they're highly digestible. But here's what most people don't realize. There's a food that outperforms eggs in protein bioavailability and amino acid delivery, and it's spirulina. That's right, spirulina, a type of blue-green algae, contains more protein per gram than eggs, and not just in quantity, but in efficiency of absorption. Depending on the source, spirulina is up to 70% protein by weight, and it's packed with all 9 essential amino acids, especially leucine, isoleucine, and valine, which are critical for triggering muscle protein synthesis. In fact, a study published in the Journal of Medicinal Food found that spirulina supplementation not only improved muscle strength in older adults, but also reduced markers of oxidative stress, a key player in muscle breakdown with age. Here's what the research shows. When consumed in the right dose, typically 5 to 10 Gs per day, spirulina can stimulate the mTOR pathway, the same anabolic signal triggered by resistance training and high leucine meals. But it gets better. Unlike some animal proteins that may also come with cholesterol or saturated fat, spirulina delivers protein plus antioxidants plus micronutrients, including magnesium, iron, B vitamins, and phycocyanin, which supports mitochondrial function. Think of spirulina as nature's protein-dense multivitamin, especially potent for aging, muscles. Have you ever noticed that eating protein doesn't always lead to better strength? That's because your body needs not just quantity, but bioactivity. And spirulina delivers a protein profile your body can use immediately without taxing digestion or inflaming the gut. For people over 50, especially those experiencing anabolic resistance, spirulina is like a metabolic shortcut to restoring muscle function. A simple tool to apply is this. Add 510 G of spirulina powder to a morning smoothie or mix it with water post-workout. It's fast, absorbable, and deeply nourishing to your muscles. In part 2, we'll explore why sarcopenia starts accelerating after 40 and why timing matters more than ever. And if this insight is already giving you something practical, consider subscribing There's a lot more science-backed, usable knowledge coming your way. Most people think muscle loss is inevitable with age, a slow decline that begins sometime in our 60s or 70s. But here's what the science reveals. Muscle decline, known as sarcopenia, actually starts in your 30s and accelerates dramatically after age 40. Research from the National Institutes of Health shows that without intervention, adults lose 3-8% of their muscle mass every decade after 30. By the time you hit 70, up to 50% of your muscle may be gone. But this isn't just a matter of getting weaker. It affects every system in your body. Muscle is your largest endocrine organ. It secretes myokines, molecules that regulate inflammation, brain plasticity, insulin response, and even emotional resilience. So when you lose muscle, you're not just losing strength. You're losing metabolic health, mental clarity, hormonal stability, and immune protection. Why does this happen so fast after 40? 3 big reasons. Anabolic resistance. Your muscles stop responding as efficiently to protein intake. You need more leucine to trigger the same growth response that used to come easily. Hormonal shifts. Levels of growth hormone, testosterone, and IGF-1 naturally decline. These hormones are essential for repairing and rebuilding muscle tissue. Mitochondrial decline. Your muscle cells become less efficient at generating ATP, leading to faster fatigue, less recovery, and more breakdown. But here's the empowering part. These changes are modifiable, not fixed. Multiple studies, including a pivotal 2019 paper in Nutrients, show that targeted nutrition, especially leucine-rich, anabolic resistance proteins like spirulina, can resensitize muscle tissue and reverse anabolic resistance. Think of your muscles after 40 like a radio with lower volume. You need to send a stronger signal to get the same sound. That signal comes from protein timing, resistance training, and nutrient density. A simple protocol here is consume 25-30 grams of high-quality protein, including a leucine-rich source like spirulina, within 30-60 minutes after strength training. This window of opportunity is when your muscle cells are most receptive to growth signals. And even on non-training days, front-lugging your first meal with complete protein can help reset your muscle-building rhythm for the day. If this science resonates with you, if it's making sense and giving you tools, I invite you to subscribe. This channel exists to help you build a stronger, healthier, more capable body using real evidence, not trends. Coming up next, we'll explore how Spirulina actually stimulates muscle protein synthesis and why its effect can rival even whey protein without the digestive drawbacks. So far, we've looked at why Spirulina has more usable protein than eggs and how sarcopenia accelerates after age 40. Now let's get into how Spirulina actually activates muscle growth on a molecular level and why, in some cases, it may even outperform whey protein. First, a quick refresher. Muscle protein synthesis, MPS, is your body's way of rebuilding and repairing muscle tissue. To activate MPS, you need 2 main ingredients. Leucine, the key amino acid that flips the switch mTOR activation, the pathway inside your cells that signals build more muscle. Whey protein is well known for this. It's fast digesting, high in leucine, and widely used by athletes and older adults alike. But here's the interesting part. Spirulina not only matches whey in leucine density per gram, it also contains cofactors that support mitochondrial health, reduce oxidative stress, and enhance nutrient absorption. In a 2020 randomized controlled trial published in Clinical Nutrition, older adults who supplemented with spirulina saw significant increases in grip strength, walking speed, and lean muscle mass, even without resistance training. This points to something deeper than just protein content. It's about the bioactive environment spirulina creates inside the body. What's happening in your body when you consume spirulina? First, the leucine in spirulina stimulates mTORC1, the protein complex that governs cell growth and repair. This is the same complex activated by resistance training and anabolic hormones. Second, the antioxidant phycocyanin in spirulina reduces chronic inflammation, which is often elevated in aging muscles. Third, spirulina's iron, B12, and magnesium content supports oxygen transport, nervous system health, and ATP production, all essential for sustained muscle activity and recovery. Here's a relatable analogy. Think of muscle building like trying to build a house. Whey protein gives you the bricks, amino acids, but spirulina, it gives you the bricks plus the construction crew, the blueprint, and the clean energy to keep the machines running. A simple tip, if you're already using whey, try adding spirulina to your stack or rotate it in a few days a week. Use 5 to 10 G in smoothies or even capsules, ideally alongside strength training. It's gentle on digestion and rich in nutrients your muscles actually use. So, is spirulina better than whey? It depends on your context. For those who struggle with dairy, want cleaner absorption, or need extra anti-inflammatory support, spirulina is a game changer. Next up, I'll show you how to time and pair spirulina with other foods for maximum muscle benefit, especially if you're over 50 and trying to preserve strength and mobility. When it comes to preserving and building muscle after 50, what you eat is important, but when and how you eat it can be just as critical. Your body's ability to turn protein into muscle, known as muscle protein synthesis, MPS, is influenced not just by the presence of amino acids, but by timing, nutrient synergy, and recovery status. And this becomes especially true after midlife, when anabolic resistance begins to dull your muscle's responsiveness to protein. So how can you use spirulina, this powerhouse protein source, most effectively? Let's break it down into a daily protocol that fits real life. Step 1, front load your first meal with protein. Research from the Journal of Nutrition shows that even protein distribution across meals, especially a strong dose in the first meal, is associated with greater lean muscle mass and strength in older adults. Spirulina can be easily added to breakfast smoothies, mixed into oatmeal, or taken in capsule form. Protocol tip, combine 10 G spirulina with 20-30 G of another complete protein like Greek yogurt, hemp seeds, or pea protein within 60 minutes of waking. This primes your body to activate mTOR early, setting the metabolic tone for the day. Step 2, use spirulina post-workout to amplify recovery. Your muscles are most receptive to nutrients in the 30-90 minutes after resistance training. In this window, spirulina's high leucine content and antioxidant profile work synergistically to stimulate growth while reducing oxidative damage. Protocol tip, mix spirulina with citrus juice or berries post-workout. The vitamin C enhances iron absorption, and the natural sugars help shuttle amino acids into muscle cells via insulin signaling. Step 3, pair with omega-3s and magnesium at night. Evening is your body's key repair window, especially during deep sleep when growth hormone peaks. Spirulina pairs well with omega-3 rich foods like flaxseed or walnuts, and magnesium from dark chocolate almonds or supplements to support inflammation control and neuromuscular recovery. Protocol tip, take a small evening dose, 3-5 G spirulina, with a magnesium-rich snack to support overnight muscle repair. Bonus tool, stack it with movement. The science is clear, protein alone isn't enough. Mechanical tension from walking, body weight exercises, or strength training is what tells your body this muscle is important. Keep it. Even light resistance bands or 20 minutes of zone 2 cardio can amplify the effects of spirulina by improving nutrient delivery and metabolic flexibility. To summarize the protocol, morning, 10 G spirulina plus protein-rich breakfast. Post-workout, spirulina plus carbs plus vitamin C. Evening, 3-5 G spirulina plus omega-3s plus magnesium. Daily movement, resistance training, walking, or stretching. And remember, if this protocol is giving you clarity or helping you rethink your approach to nutrition, tap that subscribe button. This channel is here to empower you with grounded, science-backed tools to take ownership of your health. Next, we'll zoom out beyond muscle and look at how spirulina affects cognitive function, hormones, and metabolic health, and why it might be the most underrated whole-body longevity tool available. We've focused on spirulina's muscle building power, but its benefits go far beyond your biceps. In fact, one of the most exciting areas of research is how spirulina affects your brain, hormones, and metabolism. This is where food stops being just fuel and becomes medicine. Let's start with the brain. In a 2018 study published in Oxidative Medicine and Cellular Longevity, researchers found that spirulina improves cognitive function and memory, especially under oxidative stress. Why? Because it's not just protein. Spirulina is loaded with phycocyanin, a rare antioxidant that crosses the blood-brain barrier, and it helps reduce neuroinflammation, scavenge free radicals, and protect brain cells from age damage. What's happening in your brain is this. Spirulina increases the activity of BDNF, brain-degraded neurotrophic factor, a protein that supports the growth and maintenance of neurons. BDNF is like fertilizer for the brain, and it plays a huge role in learning, focus, and emotional resilience. Have you ever noticed brain fog after a high-carb, low-protein meal? That's your brain running on unstable blood sugar and inflammation. But with spirulina, especially when paired with healthy fats or fiber, you stabilize glucose, reduce inflammation, and protect cognition over time. Now let's talk hormones. Sarcopenia and hormonal decline often go hand in hand, but spirulina can intervene in both. In men, spirulina has been shown to raise free testosterone levels by reducing oxidative stress in the testes and supporting healthy cholesterol metabolism, which is crucial since testosterone is synthesized from cholesterol. In women, it supports thyroid health and adrenal balance, both of which are key for managing energy, mood, and muscle tone after 40. And for both men and women, spirulina can help improve insulin sensitivity, a major factor in metabolic aging. Studies in diabetes research and clinical practice show that just 8 weeks of spirulina supplementation significantly lowered fasting blood glucose and HbA1c in adults with insulin resistance. That means better energy, clearer thinking, and reduced fat storage without extreme dieting. A practical takeaway is this. Use spirulina in place of empty calorie snacks, especially during the mid-afternoon dip. It supports energy, satiety, and mental clarity, all while feeding your muscle tissue and balancing hormones. You're not just eating for today, you're building the scaffolding of long-term resilience. And that's the bigger idea. Muscle isn't just muscle. It's a lifeline to your cognitive health, hormonal balance, and longevity. And spirulina? It's one of the few natural tools that supports all 3 domains simultaneously. Up next, we'll explore the behavioral psychology behind staying consistent, how to turn spirulina and muscle-supporting habits into an identity, not just a task. Let's face it, knowing what to do is only half the equation. The real challenge, the one that derails most people, is doing it consistently. And when it comes to fighting muscle loss after 50, consistency is the ultimate medicine. So how do we make something like spirulina or any muscle-building habit stick long enough to make a difference? The answer lies in behavioral science. One of the most powerful tools in habit formation is something called identity-based change, a concept popularized by psychologist James Clear and rooted in cognitive behavioral theory. Here's how it works. Instead of saying, I need to remember to take spirulina, you say, I'm the kind of person who takes care of my muscles every day. This small shift moves the behavior from being something you do to being someone you are. And research shows that when people adopt a health identity, their compliance increases dramatically, even under stress or fatigue. A second tool is habit stacking, anchoring a new behavior to something you already do. For example, after I brush my teeth in the morning, I mix spirulina into my smoothie. After my workout, I take my spirulina with citrus juice. This creates a neural if-then loop that makes the habit nearly automatic. The third key is environmental design, making the healthy choice the easy choice. Place spirulina somewhere visible, pre-portion your doses. Keep your blender on the counter. The fewer decisions your brain has to make, the more likely you are to follow through. But here's the most important insight. Motivation follows action. You don't wait to feel inspired to care for your body, you act. And then the identity, energy, and confidence follow. So if you're someone over 50 or even over 30 who's noticing a slow decline in strength, energy, or recovery, let today be the turning point. You don't need to do everything. Just start with one action. Mix 5-10 of spirulina into your day and pair it with a short walk, a strength session, or a protein-rich breakfast. Because every time you show up for your body, you're not just preserving muscle, you're preserving your capacity to live fully, to move well, think clearly, and age with strength, not surrender. In the final section, I'll recap the science-backed tools we covered and leave you with a challenge. Something simple you can try today to begin rebuilding strength from the inside out. Let's take a moment to bring it all together. We started with a counterintuitive truth that spirulina, a microscopic blue-green algae, delivers more bioavailable protein than eggs and may be one of the most powerful tools we have to fight age muscle loss. We explored the deeper science of sarcopenia, how muscle decline begins far earlier than most people realize, accelerating after 40 due to hormonal shifts, mitochondrial slowdown, and anabolic resistance. But we also revealed the solution. Spirulina doesn't just offer protein. It delivers a full spectrum of muscle-supporting nutrients. Leucine to trigger mTOR and muscle protein synthesis, phycocyanin to fight inflammation and oxidative stress, iron, B12, and magnesium to support energy, oxygen flow, and nervous system health, and antioxidants that protect the brain and support hormonal balance. We walk through a daily protocol that stacks spirulina into your morning, post-workout, and evening nutrition, with simple tools like habit stacking and nutrient pairing to make it sustainable. And we zoomed out to see the big picture. Muscle is more than movement. It's a regulator of brain health, metabolic flexibility, and resilient aging. When you feed and train your muscles, you're not just investing in strength. You're upgrading every system in your body. Now, here's your challenge. Try one protocol from today's episode. Maybe it's adding spirulina to your breakfast. Maybe it's a walk after protein. Maybe it's stacking your spirulina with strength training 3 times a week. Whatever it is, take one action that turns knowledge into momentum, because aging doesn't have to mean decline. With the right inputs and consistency, you can build strength, energy, and clarity long after your 40, 50, 50s, and 60s. This is what the science tells us. And this is what you deserve: a body that supports your goals, a mind that stays sharp, a future that feels strong, not fragile. If today's insights helped you, I'd love to invite you into this community. Tap like, leave a comment with your biggest takeaway, and subscribe. This channel exists to help you turn cutting-edge science into real, lasting health. Not overnight tricks, but tools that work because they're backed by biology and built for your life. I'm grateful you're here. Let's keep building strength together.